Welcome everyone to this, this is going to be kind of a showcase, unboxing, and mini tutorial on the Mega Man board game, which finally got released. This was a Kickstarter a couple of years ago at this point now. And anyway, so this is actually, Capcom somehow did not stop this and actually kind of helped, like at least didn't shut it down. Right? Like, that was pretty much the big thing with Capcom.
Yeah, I mean, they went through a lot of, like, redoing on a bunch of the figures.
To make sure that it would be approved.
Capcom signed off on it in the end to be official, so...
Yeah, their seals on it.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing. So, this rule is really cool. It's actually a full-blown board game. It was a Kickstarter. When it reached a whole bunch of stretch goals, it added more characters to it, the good characters and the bad characters. Basically, the premise of the game is it's based obviously on Mega Man 1, as you can see from a large portion of the box art, which also includes the added stuff from Mega Man Powered Up.
Yeah.
Which added Time Man and Oil Man to the game, because the original Mega Man only had 6 robot masters. So this includes all of them, and the goal of the game is you're playing as the good guys, which include, of course, Mega Man, but because of the added stuff, you got Rush, Dr. Light, Roll. Is anybody out there? Proto Man, who wasn't even in part of Mega Man 1, but it's Proto Man, so of course they're going to include him. And your goal is to defeat a certain amount of robot masters. Your default is 2. And then you move on to Dr. Wily's castle, where you have to battle the Yellow Devil, and then move on to Wily himself, beat him twice, and then you win the game.
Correct.
That's a generalization of how this works. So go ahead and showcase the back of the box. Get that lined up. You can kind of see the game contents and everything that's kind of included in the game itself, which is a lot of stuff. Every individual piece, they're all painted.
Yes.
But we're not sure if other versions, later versions of this will also include the painted versions of it or not. It's a cool game board because it actually is like a default game board, and then you add the Robot Master levels that kind of attach to the board game itself. And then you have the Dr. Wily Castle that also kind of is there as well.
Well, wasn't it a stretch goal that you paid for to have the figures painted?
I can't remember if that was a stretch goal
or was it one of your
default.
One of your things. Because it's been a while. We've been waiting for this particular Kickstarter to finally get released for a pretty long amount of time now.
About 2 years.
So again, let's get this opened up. I'll let you open it up and. That's a lovely sound. What a sound that is.
So you got your rule book. It's pretty short overall. I mean, it's only like 10 pages or so.
Well, but it is for a board game, so it's like...
Yeah. Here's the Dr. Wily Castle and your main stage. Each of the Robot Masters attaches to each of the sides all around the rim.
Yeah, I can see that. It's kind of like it's a really interesting looking board.
And then here are your Robot Masters. You have Oil Man.
And his stage.
Flip these around.
Yep.
There we go.
You start on the green spot, and then you move through the challenges, and then you fight the Wily door, where the Oil Man will be standing.
And as we show you later, you go through 4 challenges for each stage before you get to the actual...
Before you actually get to the boss itself.
Yeah.
So we have Oil Man's thing.
You got Bomb Man.
No one cares about Bomb Man. Like, Bomb Man's probably the least popular of the original 6.
There's Cut Man.
Cut Man.
I do like that each of these little circles have part of their actual stage.
I see that.
On them.
There's actually a little bit. Let me get a good shot of this for Cut Man. You can see direct screenshots from the original Mega Man stage on there. Now I gotta ask, for Oil Man, do they have the powered up, I guess, level?
Yeah, I would assume so. It looks like it to me.
Yeah.
I know Guts Man's
it's
powered up level.
It's the powered up level. Could that look like, because Cut Man looked like the original art, and Oil Man looks like, definitely, obviously, it's the powered up art.
But Guts Man, however, is the powered up art.
Yes, it is. Interesting. How do they not have... Oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay. I was going to say, right there, that BS of a part. Right there where you have the jumps on the platforms that...
Oh, yeah.
Right near the beginning of the stage.
Yeah, but
and then Elect Man has, of course, the disappearing blocks.
Yeah, for sure. And that's also the original 8-bit.
Yeah.
For that.
And then you got Time Man.
Good old Time Man.
Iceman. And then
This is powered up as well, and then Fireman.
So those are your game bosses. Slide this out of the way for a second. And just to kind of show this off real quick, you would just basically
attach them.
You just attach them to the sides.
Right.
And choose as you go. So the minimum robot masters needed is 6. You can do any 6. You can change them up if you wish. Of course, you know, obviously most people are going to want the original robot masters.
Yeah, some people would remove the other ones.
Well, Oil Man and Time Man were actually an expansion game.
Yeah, they were they're defaultly in a different box, correct?
Yes, they actually come in a different box. I combined everything into one box.
So that's good news for people. If they got it, they can fit it all in one box.
So this is the full game board. Nothing gets added past this at this point. And you would take one of your characters, place them on the start, move through the challenges, get to the boss where the boss character will be, and then move on.
I'll show them real quick if you want to show.
Well, we're going to showcase all the different, at least most of the different stuff. So this is, we'll start with figures, I guess, for all the different.
Do we want to show, like, you know, the stretch goals, or do we want to show the default?
No, we're going to show everything. So the biggest figure is probably the coolest, which he fell off his platform.
He has a giant stand. I mean, this is like a full blown like action figure you can put on your
He's about the same size as the Mega Man Amiibo.
Yeah, like he actually is. Like he very much is. There it is, the Yellow Devil.
And the Yellow Devil obviously stands on his spot, guarding Wily. This is one of the gold figures.
So yeah, one of the bonus things was they did gold figures as well as
the normal versions. I'll show the. But they didn't do them for everybody. They only did them for
select.
They must have reached certain stretch goals. Trying to get us to focus.
The worst one is Rush, who does not ever want to stand on his.
Neither Rush does. And this Rush is missing his leg again. But to go ahead while you're pulling out other pieces, this is the default Mega Man that comes with the game defaultly. This is the only Mega Man that you get if you only buy just the regular game as your game piece. You don't get any other variants or stuff like that. The variants were all stretch goals and expansions. So we have you can see from the expansions and all like that, some other shots where you do get different Mega Mans, and each Mega Man, as he explains later with the card, does something different.
Right, like.
But originally you only get 8 of that piece of Mega Man.
Right. Mega Man without his helmet on has a different power than Mega Man
with his helmet on.
With his helmet.
Jumping Mega Man has a different power than the basic one.
Of course, my thing wants to be stupid, not focus for me at all during the course of this, but.
Right. You know, then you got Shot Mega Man.
So I'll try to put these actually on the board just to showcase them a little bit. That way you can see it, and I'll zoom in.
Just giving a couple different ideas here.
There we go. This way you can kind of see it a little bit better.
I hate this Rush figure.
Well, here's Rush missing his leg at the moment, but I will show that one off. Because the Rush is a pain in the ass.
Rush's legs do not work right. I don't know what happened, but they do not work right. But there's Gold Rush too.
Here's Rush's leg in the bag.
Okay, so what I'm going to kind of do is see if I can get a little bit of a shot of all these figures, because there's a lot of figures here.
Yeah, it is.
It's all the Robot Masters. You can see them there, a whole bunch of them.
You got Iceman, Fireman, Cutman, Gutsman,
and then they're
Bomb Man, which nobody cares about, Time Man, Oil Man, Elect Man, Proto Man, Helmetless Mega Man, Shooting Mega Man, Dr. Wily,
Dr. Wily.
Roll.
That's a good shot.
You got the gold figures of Dr. Light, Rush, Fireman, Mega Man, Gutsman.
Why Fireman was chosen as the kind of one of the things? It's kind of funny, but
I don't know. Roll got a gold figure.
There's Dr. Light.
Cutman got a figure. Gutsman. There's the normal Dr. Light. You can show them all.
There's all the different Mega Man variants.
I do like the Dr. Light a lot.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you got the two over there. I was gonna say, I got all the other Mega Man variants right here on the game board. Found Rush's base.
The joys of learning how... I just got this camera like 2 months ago, and I haven't done a lot of stuff where I've had to manually focus yet. So, I haven't got all that figured out. Of course, you're gonna drop pieces. Be careful with Rush's leg.
Yeah, Rush's leg came broken, so be careful with that.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and line up some of these enemies. I'm gonna put them like over here.
Right.
Apparently some of these enemies decided to
Come off their bases.
come off their stands.
Yeah. There's a Sniper Joe.
So the enemies included Sniper Joe, the big giant thing, which I can never remember its name,
The medics.
a Matul.
They actually have them all right here.
Oh,
if you
okay,
want to look
cool.
at them, all their names are
So
over
these
there.
are like these are their damage kits.
Yep.
Cards or whatever. So I'll show a couple of these off as well.
Flame.
You have the various different enemies. Here's Matul. And basically this is how you know how much damage an enemy can do and any special ability that said enemy is going to have.
Penguin.
Yeah, during the stage of, like, if someone has a challenge, let's say you would draw a challenge card, and it would say to have whatever
One of these,
enemy.
yeah, Watcher or whatever.
So if you had Watcher, if someone played the ability for, like, the stager one, like an Elect Man ability card, Watcher would then get his special ability activated.
And there's a bunch of there's multiple of each one.
Yes, there's 6 of every one of those cards.
Yeah, but there's only 2 of each figure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's only 2 of each figure.
So is this all 1, 2, 3, 4?
I got the last one
5.
here. I'm trying to get up.
I'll give you a good shot of it. I love the Penguin one. I didn't know he was getting a figure.
Pen is awesome.
I figured Sniper Joe.
I like the
Here's a
Pen.
shot. I'll try to showcase him a little bit.
There you go. Here's the big eye.
Which means we're missing one of the little crossbar dudes.
I got one right here.
Oh, okay, you do have one. Good. I didn't see.
Go ahead and show Sniper Joe.
Sniper Joe is evil.
As he should be.
Sniper Joe? Where are they? We're missing one more.
Which one?
The little real evil bastards.
Right here?
Yes. These guys are evil for their damage.
Yeah. These dudes do more damage than anything else in the game. These little...
Well, more than the
eyeball
Robot
dudes.
Master. Well, not more than the Robot Masters, but more than any of the other little shits.
There we go. That's a little bit better on the focus.
Yeah, see if you can repair Rush.
Trying to.
Also, this autofocus isn't the best yet that I've gotten used to it. But I love the figures. They're really cool. They're kind of worth. Like, how much are they charging for?
I honestly do not know.
I'll look it up. And
default
I'll put a. Are they selling it now separate, or was it only for Kickstarter?
No, I believe they are selling it now on their website.
I'll include a link down in the description if I want to see it.
So here are the 6 faces of the dice. You can lift them up and do whatever you want with them.
Wily's are obviously bad.
So you have...
And every dice has the same 6 spots?
Yep, every dice has the same 6 spots. You have running Mega Man for certain events you need to pass, jumping Mega Man for certain events, aiming Mega Man for certain events. This little explosion is actually supposed to be like a Mega Man pellet hitting.
Your head.
It's supposed to be a lemon hitting. An energy booster, +2 health,
Okay.
and then Dr. Wily. If
Which-
Dr. Wily happens during a challenge and it's left over, then bad things happen.
It's whatever's on the challenge card, pretty much. You can do anything from taking damage, to losing life, to losing energy, to losing die from your die pool as you play the game, which we will show later on.
Cool. Very cool.
These little cubes in this bag are your weapon energy. Everyone gets 3 to start, except for Rush, who gets 4.
I can see there's easily getting lost.
Yes, these easily get thrown or something else
Well, he's
happens to them.
showing the challenge cards for Dr. Wily,
Oh yeah, I'll get to them.
or the challenge cards in general.
So here's the challenge cards. You can take them out. Each Robot Master has like a bunch of them, but they are tiny. And they're very difficult to shuffle with my fat hands.
Right, there we go. I'll show a couple of these. See if I can get the focus. There it goes. Yay, focus!
So on each of these cards, let me just see one.
I just disappearing block alone. Here you go.
Okay. So on each card you have
The enemy that's well, let's see
the minion that'll show up. Some of them have like a plus sign on it. That'll say like +2 or +1, which means then you have 3 minions to deal with.
Flip one over so you can show the backings of them too.
Oh yeah, each of the backings
Because each
show.
of the backings show whose stage they belong to, because it's different challenges to each stage.
Gotcha.
Right.
So it's like bomb there, I think.
So, but if you look back on the main picture of them, there you go if you want.
I'll hold this.
It'll show like an energy number in the top corner. That's how many points worth of cards you can play to complete the challenge, but also the amount of point cards that your opponents can play against you.
Want to pull that one random deck so you can show them what you're talking about?
Yes. So I've already separated each of these for a player to actually play.
Each player gets their own deck to play with, up to 8 players, pretty much. Or
Well, it's 6 in the main game,
oh,
2
2
more in the
more.
expansion.
Yeah.
Never mind. So 8.
Yeah, so you get 8 players, but this
You get
is
a-
basically your life counter. Everybody starts out pretty much at 28 life, and then the other one is used for basically like a Robot Master
To keep track.
to keep track of their
So you
life.
can rotate it though.
Mm-hmm.
See what you have.
Right. These are your little life dice. Each player starts with 3 lives. When you lose all 3 of your lives, it's game over.
Game over in this game basically happens if, so say you made it like part way through a stage, like, let me remove these dice real quick so you can actually see. Alright, so say we were in Time Man stage. We started at the first challenge at the beginning of the stage, and you completed 2 challenges, but then you died. So
Right.
you would lose a life. Well, say what happens if that was your last life and you game over.
You go back. to the
You
beginning?
start back and can choose any Robot
Okay,
Master
so
to
you can
choose
go back
from.
to the master selection screen.
Right.
Okay, very cool.
Okay, so these are the cards that each person gets to play with, just showing the backing of it. Now, when you flip one over, yeah,
so-
okay.
Let it
There we go.
focus.
Yeah. Now, when you flip one over, you have various different sides. The top ability is the Mega Man ability that you get to play for each stage.
That's your turn.
That's on your turn. So when you're playing as Mega Man, Proto Man, whoever the good guys, you get to play that, and it's got the 4 to match whatever the challenge would be up in the corner. Now, when somebody else's turn, you get to flip the card over, and everybody else gets to be Dr. Wily. So whatever that is, that's the ability you can play against somebody
that,
else
okay.
on their turn.
And then the middle ability is specifically the only thing you can use against a Robot Master or a boss fight.
Yeah, the middle ability is reserved for boss fights only. However, what's interesting with the card, real quick, when you're going like that, is this card's got a certain ability, so that card would boost against Bomb Man, I believe, of all the cards we just pulled out.
Is that that little symbol?
The little symbol there?
The little rock.
Yeah. So it would be Bomb Man. So if there's a Bomb Man ability in one of these challenge cards, like this one's got Iceman, it would end up boosting all of your little minions to where they all have specials on their card, and you would be able, for instance, pulling out one of these chips here, His special would basically make a person lose 1 threat, which is basically threat or your dice in your dice pool.
Gotcha.
So you would lose 1 die for your turn.
Gotcha.
I think it's wise to say you should keep everything at least kind of together. I made
say you get baggies for it.
I made baggies for each individual player.
That's not something that comes with.
No, those are all my own little sandwich baggies, but
no, I just so there you go. There's a suggestion.
No, they all come wrapped cellophane separate packs defaultly though.
yeah.
Right. But if you put that all just in a box,
Right.
You would never know what it was in what deck.
Right.
So these are
the character cards, as well as extra lives and the boss cards.
That's what I was looking. I wanted to look at the boss card.
Let's pull out the character card too. So the boss card, if you flip it over real quick, this is what happens when you actually fight the boss. So, for instance, in a fight with Oil Man, the player gets to go first, the one who's actually challenging him.
Mm-hmm.
You would get to play your turn out like you normally would in a boss fight, which is you get only 6 dice to throw. You attack, do whatever re-rolls you need to do in order to get as much damage as you want. Your other opponent, starting with the person on your left, plays as Oil Man, and they only get whatever it says for threat right under his picture.
Yeah, threat 4 here.
So he would only get 4 dice. If he rolls any of those symbols down there, that effect happens.
Gotcha.
But he doesn't get any re-rolls like the player does. However, his attacks do various things. Obviously, a Dr. Wily symbol is devastatingly powerful. The hits do a lot of damage, and then the jump symbol obviously is if they bounced right into you.
And then if you wanted to flip it over, when you beat them, it shows what powers you end up possessing.
Yeah, and
Right.
when you
Okay,
beat
that's
the
what I was
Robot
looking at
Master,
yeah, the oil slider.
when you beat the Robot Master, you would get, for Oil Man, the Oil Slider, which gives you a bunch of different abilities. So you get like a boss ability, and then you get a stage ability.
Gotcha.
Here's a character card. Obviously this is Roll. Roll starts with 28 health like every other player. She gets 3 weapon energy to start, and she gets 10 dice to start her turn. Her special ability is she's resourceful. I don't remember the exact text that says on there.
Resourceful action point, discard 1 card to search your deck for any card and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. You may not play any more actions this challenge.
So she can basically, like, every turn you draw up to 4 cards. Her special ability is if you don't like a card, you can just get rid of it and draw whatever card you want.
Right.
Which is really handy. Now, if you flip her card around, this is what happens when you actually fight a Robot Master. All of her hit symbols do 2 damage to the Robot Master, and if you spend a weapon energy, you have that special ability of hers.
Gotcha.
She still has the same amount of health, the same amount of energy, but she loses out on threat. But the difference is, unlike stages where you would spend so many threat to get through a challenge and then you're out of that much for the rest, and unless you gain it back, every time it's your round in a boss fight, you get full attack.
Gotcha.
No matter
You
what.
always get 6 dice unless a boss has the ability to remove threat from you.
Correct.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a very small version of basically what you would do in an average game. Just to give you an example of how it goes, because you said it takes a little while. Clearly, it takes a while to kind of figure out how everything works.
Yeah.
If we try to explain the entire rulebook, it would definitely take a little bit of time to get used to.
So we're gonna set this up, and when we get it set up, we'll
be right back.
We'll be right back. There we go.
Okay, so now we actually have the board set up. We're going to go through kind of like a mock game, showcase elements of the game without showcasing the whole game. It's about an hour long. It takes, once you know what you're doing. First learning, it's going to take probably longer, and of course more people playing, the longer the game's going to take. So, okay, what you do when you first start off.
Alright.
By the way, I'm playing as Dr. Light.
I'm playing Proto Man.
And I'm playing as Roll.
No one's playing as the title character here. But anyway, okay.
So, Mark, since, we're playing, pick any stage you wish to start on. On the first turn, no two people can pick the same stage. However, you can have the same two people on the same spot of a stage, but on that first turn, everyone has to be separate.
One. I'll go ahead and choose Elect Man.
Alright.
So you start off at that first spot there?
Yes, you start at the green spot, and you'll move forward from there. Wherever you want, Sean.
I'm gonna go with Cut Man, because it's always Cut Man.
Alright, I'll go to Guts Man. Alright. So on the first turn, since you're playing first in this round, you're gonna draw a challenge card.
Okay, so we each have challenge cards, and we each have our thing. So I'll just take the top challenge card.
Alright, so the first challenge card, I don't know if you want to show it off or anything.
Showcase it as best as I can, because I'm gonna have to sit for this. So
that's fine.
Alright.
So that's probably the best we can. So this is spin platform is what I got.
Okay, so you get to draw up to 4 cards from your deck.
Okay, so this is my deck over here, my own deck.
Yep.
We each have a deck of cards in front of us, so these are these kind of cards.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
The player cards.
So on this particular card, on this particular one you have, there's going to be one of the little Watcher minions.
So you got one little watch.
I'll showcase it on the board a little bit, just so
That's fine.
people can see a little bit. So I'm facing this thing right here, this Watcher.
The little green Watcher. You have up to 2 energy worth of card points you can spend to help you.
Okay.
Immediately, this large effect in this large area takes a place as soon as you draw the card. So, what does that say?
If you pass this challenge, gain +1 threat and +1 weapon energy.
Okay, so, and then on this challenge as well, healing energy, stick, and weapon hits stick. So whatever you roll on this challenge, if you roll, say you out of 2 of your dice, you rolled 1 of each of those symbols, you cannot re-roll those 2. They're stuck.
Okay, so there's dice stick. Okay.
So you don't have to worry about the Dr. Wily ability at the moment unless you roll a Dr. Wily symbol.
Right, which for this case it says take your damage on this one.
And in this particular challenge, you only have to complete the jumping action. There's no other actions at the bottom here. And if you want to kill the minion, you have to get a shoot action as well.
Okay.
Basically, you do the jump to complete and move on to the next challenge, but if you don't kill the minion, you take the 2 damage the minion will give to your 28 life.
Gotcha. So that's what the thing it says at the top here.
Right.
Every minion has the damage thing at the top.
Right.
So you'll have the 2 damage.
Correct.
If I don't fight. So when I roll my dice, I'm looking for, I need to at least roll 1 jump die.
Right, and you're hoping to get
If I
at
get
least 1 shot.
If I get 1 shot die as well, then I take care of him. I don't have to worry about taking damage.
Exactly.
Okay.
So your character, Dr. Light, starts with 10 dice total.
Total?
So,
Yes.
Total.
So do I roll 10 dice, or do I...
No.
You
Okay.
can roll 10 dice, but then once you
Once.
complete the challenge, it would be the end of your turn.
Gotcha.
Because basically, when you're in a regular stage, you have 10 threat total. The idea, basically, to try to start with everything is to try to roll as least amount of die as possible, because you do have weapon energy to re-roll till you get what you want. Most of the time, on average, I would say we rolled, 4 die, unless it gets to be a difficult challenge.
Yeah, 4 die is usually what I usually do, because you do get re-rolls.
Like there's your re-rolls with the weapon energy.
Little tiny...
Yeah, they're a pain in the dick, because they're really small.
Now, you do have the problem of having things stick, so you might want to go in with maybe 5 or 6 energy on this particular one. However, since it is also the first turn, we're probably not going to play our 2 against you right now, just to try to showcase off what the basic is. But also remember that you do have 4 cards in hand, and anything that's a 1 or a 2, you can play right now.
Right.
To try to give you an extra ability here.
Right, so that's when you would look at a card, these are these cards again.
Right.
They have a certain amount that they cost in the upper corner. So for example, 2 and on my challenge, I can use up to 2 points total.
Correct.
So I can use 2 1s or a 2.
Correct.
There's also 0-point cards, which help reduce the amount of the point cost of another card. So in this particular challenge, me and Sean are not going to do anything with you, but if we had cards to play, we could.
Right. We can
Now,
play.
okay, because I know, for example, on the same card, the Dr. Wily thing has an energy that it costs. How is that determined? Because, for example, I can use 2 on this because I have a challenge as a 2. What determines what you can play against me?
You have the 2 here, so you would play that in theory as your 2 for Mega Man.
The rest of us
only have 2 points to play, so
between us
completely.
Okay.
So for instance, say I got the Dr. Wily on the end of this, I could play this 1.
and then I could play a 1.
Right.
Or one of you two can play it.
Right, exactly.
Correct.
Okay, so you guys also are playing by the same rule of 2.
Right, exactly.
That's what I was checking.
Because when you get later on into Dr. Wily's stage, there's cards that are worth like 8 or 9
Gotcha.
to try and make it really hard because you're about to win.
Right.
Let me knock these off.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, so I then choose what amount of die I want to roll. So this is all the amount of die I can roll in this turn.
Maximum, yes.
How far can you get as far as you want in a turn?
As long as you have
die?
at least
As long
a
as you
die,
have threat left, well, at least 1 die left.
you can continue.
Once you're
Your
out of
turn
threat.
does not end until you choose to pass, or if you fail a challenge.
Right.
Right. Okay. So
Basically, you run out of threat or fail a challenge. Is the only
just
way.
for example, I'll go ahead and I'll throw 4 for this.
Okay.
Thing. I don't want to hit. I want to throw them on the board, but
Here,
I'm
I'll
gonna
put
kind
my
of like
hand
half
down.
roll.
Here, I'll move the chair.
Normally I throw them in front of me, but I want everybody to see them.
I want the Wily
roll.
challenges out of the way for that.
So I'll kind
Okay.
of do that.
So right now you have a jump, 2 runs, and an aim. So you only needed the jump to pass the challenge.
Technically, I passed the challenge.
Right. And you
However,
can
I
actually.
didn't hit him.
You did not kill the minion.
Right.
So you can use one of your little weapon energy cubes
And re-roll these 3 die.
to re-roll these if you want. Now you could just take the 2 damage and move on
Okay.
and not worry about it.
Alright.
Or I could spend this and re-roll all the die I chose for that turn.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Well, you're not all to die because you want to keep the jump. So
Yeah,
you can,
any number.
yeah.
Any number
Alright,
you
so
want.
if I play one of those, I can roll these 3 again.
Correct.
Exactly.
Okay, let's just do that for the sake of.
Alright, so you spend your 1 weapon energy. You get it back every turn, so it's not like it's a big deal. So,
Oh my god!
so on this particular roll,
I thought it was 3 Wileys. Never mind, the one's an energy. Okay.
so on this particular roll, you would gain 2 health, 2 more health,
But I would lose whatever the Wily thing says on there, which is take 2 damage. So
Right.
2 cancel, and I take 2 damage in the end anyway.
You would, unless you wanted to spend another weapon energy, which you would be allowed to do, which so would erase the Wileys. But however,
you wish
this
to
is
use-
stuck because of your
yeah.
challenge.
So your energy
Right,
is
so
stuck because of the
energy's stuck.
challenge.
So I could only re-roll the 2.
You can only reroll
Yeah.
the 2.
Or I could just choose to just take 2 damage plus 2 from this, and
Right.
now I'm taking 4 damage.
Well, you'll take 4 plus 2 from him.
Oh no,
so
because
6.
of that. So
Oh
you
yeah,
only take
yeah.
the 4.
You only take the 4.
I'll go ahead and take the 4 for now as we.
Okay.
Okay, so
So you have your wheel. So which one is my health?
We were doing the left as your
Left.
health.
So it doesn't really matter.
It
which
doesn't
side you
really
go.
matter.
So you start off with 28. So I'll roll that down to 24. So there you go.
all right, and since you completed the challenge, Dr. Light gets to move
Move on.
to the next thing. There's 4 challenges to each
the
stage
boss.
before you fight the boss.
Okay.
So now you have 6 dice left to continue on.
Right.
You can choose to pass your turn now, or you can choose to continue on.
Now, if I pass my turn and you guys go and it becomes my turn again, do I get all my dice
you would
back?
get all
Yes.
10 back.
You get all 10 back.
Or
Yeah.
okay, so that is there a penalty for using all your dice?
No.
No.
It's just your decision.
But as soon as you have no more threat to continue,
It passes your turn.
it auto finishes your turn.
But you're not going to get penalized. You're not going to get moved back a spot or
No.
not getting a level again or something like that.
No.
So there really is no penalty. Like you want to most of the time. Just go ahead.
Yeah, you want to try to keep going forward.
And if you can do it, in one turn, you definitely want to get to the boss fight, because as soon as the boss fight happens, even if you have one left,
you get threat back.
You flip your card to the boss battle and you get all of it every turn.
You get 6 threat every turn.
For example, for him, I would get 6 threat back.
You would get 6 dice back every turn.
I believe every character that's yours playable has 6 threat for boss fights.
Except for Rush.
Right.
Rush has 5 in boss battles.
Gotcha.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let's do it, so I can now do another challenge.
Right, so you completed this challenge, so just sit this off to the side, and then just draw a next one.
And this is gone now, too.
Okay. He was also sitting right there.
Right.
Yep.
But the thing is, I just got him again, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Watchers are
I got
notorious for this.
Electric rope. I have to do an aim die. I take 4 damage from Wily. I can use up to 3. And I may not play action cards though this turn. So action cards are these.
Correct. So your 3 points.
My 3 points is useless, but you guys
can play up to
still
3
play up
against
to 3 if you had wanted to.
Right.
Right.
So
we're probably gonna play starting now just to showcase.
Yeah, if
the
you guys
Wily
want to
cards.
play something here for the 3, just
So
show.
what does it require? It requires you just to aim, correct?
Correct.
And if you
him pointing, I assume that's aim.
Yes. The little
Yeah.
buster out. So I'm gonna play 2 cards just to kind of show it off real quick. All right, the first card I'm gonna play is a 0 point card that says the next card that gets played costs 1 less to play.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you can play a 4.
And then I played a 4,
right,
which says that it requires you to get 1 extra hit, a shot symbol, in order to complete the challenge. So I just made it harder.
So yeah, now I would now need to get an aim and a shoot
in order to complete it, as well as another shoot if you want to kill the watcher.
So I have okay. So for the sake of this turn, I'll just go ahead and roll 4 again.
Okay.
All right.
I got my aim.
You got your aim. You got another aim. You got a run, and you got a Wily.
But
So
I can choose to keep my aim.
correct. You can keep your aim,
Spend an energy.
and then re-roll the other 3. I'm gonna move this out of the way.
Yeah, just because it's gonna fly.
So you got the same roll.
Just about.
So you can spend another energy if you want.
I'll try one more time just for the sake of it, because we're
right.
getting to whatever.
Right.
Keep that off to the side. All right, so you got 2 jumps and a health back, which is better than
Late into Wily, but
so. You're not going to actually take any damage from the Watcher this turn because it's going to negate.
But you fail your challenge, so subsequently end your turn.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Because you
technically
added the aim to it.
Because I added the aim to the challenge.
So that fails the challenge.
It fails your challenge.
Now, when I fail a challenge, I still take. Let's say just fail the challenge outright without having the 2+ out. So I would take damage for failing.
Right.
You would take the 2 damage from the minion, and it would end your turn, even though you still have 2 dice left.
Right, but because I failed the challenge, it ends your turn. Right.
So then it would subsequently.
So then it would go to Sean.
My turn.
And we do the next turn.
And he would go to the next one.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll move ahead till we actually make it to the boss fight, because we actually kind of know how some of this works.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be the same all the way through the boss.
Yep.
Okay, so we play ahead, and now I'm at the actual boss fight against Electman. My health is back up to 28. The boss is also starting at 28.
Alright, so the way the boss fight works is it's just it'll start with Mark every time. He's obviously the challenger, so he gets to go first. It goes, Electman's going to be played by his player on his left first, and then it'll go back to Mark, and then it'll come to me, and then it'll go back to Mark, and then to the next person, and then back.
Right.
So everybody would, until he beats it, one of them dies. So Mark's turn won't end and it'll go to somebody else until this event happens.
Right.
So Mark, it's your turn first. You have full weapon energy to do re-rolls with.
You also get to play 1 action card per turn.
Yes, you get 1 action card. You get to play the middle option.
Right, okay.
Which is only used during Wily boss fights.
Gotcha, so when you're looking at one of these cards, you can see that middle option.
It has a little Wily door symbol.
Yeah. So, right there. So, I can play one of these per.
You can play one of those cards per turn. Per one of your turns. And you always draw back up to 4
At the end of a turn.
at the end of your turn.
So if I play this, I do 4 damage.
You would do instantly 4 damage to Elect Man without him ever having a chance.
So Elect Man goes down to 24 health instantly.
And that's
then
before you get to roll.
Right, and then you get to start your roll.
And I roll. What is your threat?
Yes,
Which is 6 for Dr. Light.
Yep, you roll 6 threat at all times.
And
you're just mainly trying to get the hits.
You want hits. If you had a card that said that you could convert a jump into a hit or something like that, you can do those. But generally, you're looking for hits.
Right.
So go ahead and roll your dice. You have 1 hit. You cannot gain energy back in a boss battle, just so you know.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense.
So you have 1 hit right now. You do have 3 rerolls to reroll your other 5, though.
Right.
So I'm gonna put this to the side.
Yeah. Just show me playing, and then we're gonna.
So you didn't get anything good happen for you there. If you want to do it again, you're welcome to it.
Which we recommend you to. Okay. I recommend always spending your energy because it comes back next turn.
Yeah, it always comes back every turn.
I don't get anything on those hits.
Yeah, it gets kind of rough.
Especially your first.
I would use your last one just to try and get at least a little bit more damage on him.
No, can't get any of those.
Wow.
Those symbols do not appear.
There's a 1 in 6 shot of them.
Yeah, and I have terrible.
So you do 2 more damage to Elect Man.
So you've done 6 out of his 28 this turn. So you get to keep that.
Elect Man only uses 1 die. He only has 1 threat on his card.
Right.
However, if I roll a hit, Thunder Beam deals 10 damage.
Yeah.
If I roll a jump, it's touch damage for 2 damage. And if I roll a Wily, basically each Robot Master has a different special ability with their Wilies too. For Elect Man, he would permanently gain 2 threats, so next turn I would have 3 die.
His other ability that Elect Man gets is if before he makes a battle roll, he can reduce his threat to 0. If he does this, he permanently gains 1 extra die. It's written up here at the top. I don't know if you can see that, but
Price is okay.
But in the meantime, I will go as Elect Man and roll 1 die. And he does nothing, because run.
Since he rolled a run symbol, Elect Man doesn't get any power against that, so he just moved on the field in the fight.
Gotcha.
So then it would go back to you.
So go back to my turn.
So you get to play another card of your choice, and you get to draw back up to 4, and then play a card again.
Well, we might as well go ahead and deal.
Some of them are really good that do double damage.
Deal 4 more damage again.
Okay, so you instantly do 4 more, so he's down to 18 before you even start rolling.
And then we're gonna go ahead and do a roll again and try to. The worst rolls in the history of this game.
I don't know, I was having really bad ones yesterday when I was
spend the energy
doing this.
Right.
There's a hit.
There you go, you got 2 hits, so we'll put them off to the side.
And there's no penalty for. I'm surprised there's no penalty for using all your energy up each time.
There's no penalty that I could find anywhere in the rules.
If somebody else can find it, comment below, but we both went over the rule book.
So you have 3 hits, and I don't know, are you out of energy or you have 1 more?
1 more.
Okay. So you got 4.
Okay, so that time's a little bit better.
So you did a lot better this time.
8 damage.
So you did an extra 8 damage plus the 4 you did, so
12
So
total.
Elect Man's down to 10 life.
Okay.
and now I would get to play as Elect Man instead of Sean.
Now, if I run out of health in this battle, obviously I lose a life.
Right.
Does the boss regain his health?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like
in the game, he goes back up to 28. You go back to 28.
Right. And if I game over here, I go back to the very beginning of this entire stage.
You would go to stage select.
Right. And then so I could pick whatever level I want to go to.
Right.
But we have to restart. But if I went back to Elect Man, I start back.
You start back at the beginning and have to go all the way through again. So I got to jump, which means you take 2 damage.
Okay.
Because I had touch damage or whatever.
Yep.
and then it goes back to you again. You get to play a card again.
And all that stuff.
And it just literally keeps going like this.
I'll deal 2 damage.
Deal 2 damage instantly. So he's down to 8. You got a hit.
1.
And a bunch of misses. So we'll move 1 energy. Got a second hit.
Yep.
So use the second energy you have.
And that'll
there you
do
go.
it.
That'll do it.
That ends Elect Man. And at this point, you get the Elect Man card. You flip it over to the other side of it, which shows you what Thunder Wave does, as well as a stage ability.
Okay, so yeah, for battle abilities, I can spend 1 weapon energy. Your attack, your damage rolls deal 3 damage to blank robot.
Is that the little spiral symbol?
Yeah, it's like a weird, kind of yin-yang looking.
That is Time Man.
Oh, okay, I see it. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I deal 3 damage to Time Man Robot Masters and 6 damage to Water Robot Masters or Yellow Devils. That battle roll.
Yes.
Okay, that's that ability. And then stage ability, Thunder Beam action points if you destroy any minions on this challenge game threat.
The other thing you get is you get the Elect Man trophy. Now what the trophy does is you get to hold on to it at any point on any roll, no matter what, after everything has been scored, and you can change the result of 1 die to whatever you want.
At the end of it, okay.
But you only get it once. After you expend it, he goes back to
his level.
To his stage.
Gotcha.
For someone else to pick up.
Right. So, okay, for example, I beat him, I take it. Someone else can't go to Elect Man stage now?
No, they can, but they cannot get the trophy.
Get the trophy until I use it. Okay.
Right.
Correct. So they can still get the power, but they cannot get
The
trophy.
Okay. So we're going to move ahead to, I guess, when we get to Wily's Castle?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so continue playing. We're now at Dr. Wily's thing. We're close to me, Dr. Light, getting ready to face off with the other devil. But we're going to do a challenge first. I have one more challenge I got to do before I can get there.
Right. So Dr. White challenges, Dr. Wily challenges obviously have their own special deck. So in the challenge you're going to be receiving, you're going to be facing off against a Matul. It requires you to get 1 run.
Yep.
It's only 2-point symbol. And what does that say, Mark?
If you do not have Super Arm, you automatically fail this challenge.
So since you do not have Super Arm,
I automatically fail.
However, since we're showcasing, we're just going to skip that one and go to the next one. Just because that's kind of crazy. So here we go.
It's Wily.
So this is a 4-point challenge. You're against one of the Fry.
Okay, let's go with Fry Angle here.
The flame guys. You require 3 jump actions for this. It's a spike chamber.
Okay.
If you pass this challenge, return your weapon energy to full. So even if you expend all 3 of your weapon energy on this turn, you gain it all back immediately.
Where the hell are you? There they are. Tackle fire.
Tackle fires.
Tackle fire. Okay, so I gotta roll.
So you still get your card.
My card. So I still have my 10 threat.
And you still have your 4 cards that you get to play up to 4 points worth of points on. And we can play up to 4 points against you.
Alright, and just for the sake of everything, since we were playing before, move those back to your discard pile.
Yep.
That way. No.
I don't have anything that's really useful to play against this round.
I can.
It's up to you.
That's only to basically, I'm going to discard a card here. And I'm going to play this +1, so minions do +2 damage.
Okay, so now instead of just doing 2 damage, he's going to do 4.
Alright.
Now, in Wily's Castle, does the dice work the same way?
Exact same way as any other stage. The only difference is in Wily's Castle compared to the normal Robot Masters is you can have, of course, Robot Master challenges where you have to refight a boss fight.
A boss. Okay.
If it's a boss you've not fought before, you can take their power afterwards.
Gotcha.
So you can still get, of course, Gutsman's ability.
So I need to roll 3 jump die.
Alright, so you have 1 on your
1.
on your first roll.
But I can spend an
You can spend an energy to re-roll your other 4 to try and get it.
Of course
You got a hit, so you can kill the dude if you wish to keep that.
Right. So I'll go ahead and just use the other energy.
Alright. So we'll keep that.
Nothing.
You got nothing really useful there. You have another hit, but it's not really helpful.
I'll just do it one more time.
Alright, so it ended up...
with a Wily.
It ended up with a Wily. So what does Wily do in this? You take 2 damage. Well, you also got an energy thing, so you
and
really
you killed the enemy, so...
So you killed the enemy. You did not pass the challenge, though.
Right.
So it ends your turn.
Right.
For the sake of just showing it off, however, we'll keep moving.
We'll say I got the 3, and we'll move on to what would be the Yellow Devil. So the Wily challenges are overall going to be more
difficult.
They're more difficult. Okay. A lot of them actually force you to have Wily symbols in order to pass the challenge, and then you take a massive hit because of it.
Okay.
So they're pretty devastating. So you're going to be facing off against the Yellow Devil.
Okay.
Alright, the Yellow Devil works just like any other boss, except, well, he's the Yellow Devil.
Yeah.
He gets his own special card.
Yeah, he has a cool artwork on the back.
It has pretty cool artwork. And then, of course, he's got the same amount of health. He comes with 6th threat against your 6th threat.
Right.
For the boss fight. Sean, you play as the Yellow Devil.
Alright. I'll need the card, though.
Yep. So Yellow Devil says that your opponent must roll at least 1 jump during their battle roll, or he takes no damage. So, no matter what you do, you have to have a jump as well.
Right. Now, what I would recommend with you, since you're starting us off with the 3 threat, because you have Electman's ability from winning earlier in the game, spend 1 threat, or
1 weapon energy.
1 weapon energy, I'm sorry. Spend 1 weapon energy to use his ability.
Electman's ability.
So now when you roll your 6 die, if you get a hit, it does 6 damage instead of 2.
Right, and that's part of his Elect Beam ability.
Exactly.
Right.
So if I use an energy, so I'll use an energy.
You would spend one of your energy that you would normally get for a reroll.
Right.
Now you have Thunder Beam equipped.
Right.
So you can have your 6th roll. You can still play a card. So if you have cards to play, obviously you get 4 cards every turn. You can play 1 card. We cannot intervene with you.
So I'll do this, which is deal an additional 2 damage for each of the hits I roll.
Right, okay. So now every hit's going to do 8 damage.
8 total.
8 total because of Elect Beam.
Right. But remember, you also need to score a jump in there somewhere, too.
Right.
And so you got your jump and 3 hits.
And right now you're doing 24 damage to the Yellow Devil.
And if I spend an energy...
Yes, you can.
I could technically reroll.
You can technically one-hit kill it.
Which you did not get anything on that one, but you can spend your other one.
Well, what we'll do is, because he's so close, I want to let him go a turn.
Okay.
So I'll just skip it.
So
normally I would definitely roll the...
Obviously. So he takes 24.
So he's down to 4 life.
He's down to 4 life. So Sean, you play as the Yellow Devil.
I need 6 die.
There you go.
So there's 2 and 4 more. Alright. So the Yellow Devil.
I'll try and block.
I'm not gonna go.
Alright. So on the Yellow Devil's turn, he did nothing at all.
I actually rolled piss poor for the Yellow Devil.
He gets 6 dice and he rolled a bunch of energy and running. Mega Man.
3 different actions that he could do, and he did nothing.
So we'll just say Sean got 1 hit.
Yeah.
Alright, just to showcase it off. The Yellow Devil's ability, if he gets a hit, is that he does an I-beam attack, which does 4 damage.
Right.
So I would take
where a Dr. Wily would do 2 damage, and a jump would do 2 damage as well for different things.
Okay. So that's how he works.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and then it would be my turn.
And then it would go back to your turn. You get your 6 dice again.
Right.
And my weapon energy back.
And your weapon energy
so I can
back.
spend that again for the Thunder
You
Beam?
can get Thunder Beam again.
I only have...
You need, what, 2? There you go. So,
nothing.
you got nothing on your
But
first
you
one.
completed the jump. He needs that jump.
You need your jump, so you have your jump.
So you can score a hit.
And I can reroll this.
Yep. And there's your hit. That's all you need.
And it's Yellow Devil.
And that would be the end of the Yellow Devil for you. Immediately upon beating the Yellow Devil, you move past him to face Wily. You get all your health back,
Okay.
So you go back to 28, but
And-
it ends your turn.
and it ends your turn.
Gotcha.
So now we'll go into the Dr. Wily fight. I'll play Dr. Wily in this one. So the Dr. Wily fight works just like another boss battle. Let's move these off the board because we don't need them right now.
Right.
Since we're just showcasing.
Dr. Wily versus Dr. Light here.
All right, so here's your 6 dice.
Yep.
You have 4.
I get 5.
5. That's right, for 4 more.
All right, so Dr. Wily, you get to go first. However, the difference between any other boss battle and Dr. Wily is when Dr. Wily is reduced to 0 health or below, you flip the card, he goes back to full health
And goes to a second.
and goes to form 2, and then he gets the first roll
Gotcha.
instead of you.
Gotcha.
So I'll keep Wily's ability or health allocated on my chart right now, just to kind of keep everything. So go ahead, you get your first roll.
I'll go ahead and play that for 2 damage.
So he immediately does 2 damage to Dr. Wily.
And if I'm you again, this time you have Flame Man. I would use his Firestorm ability the same way you use the Lek Man.
You do have Firestorm. Flip that over.
Yeah, we played till I got Fireman.
So if you flip that over, you can use his ability if you wish.
So it'll do 4 damage to Dr. Wily.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that.
So you spend 1 of that, so you can do that. You have 1 hit so far. Oop. I'll kind of block it for you.
Yeah.
Nothing on your second shot, but you do have 1 more shot.
We'll go ahead.
And you got another one.
Alright, so you got 2 hits, so you're going to do 8 damage to Dr. Wily this turn.
Okay.
So I'll mark that down over here.
Plus, what did he play?
The thing that did 2.
Okay, so he did 10 damage to
So he
Dr.
did
Wily.
10 total to Dr. Wily. So now it's Dr. Wily's turn. Dr. Wily gets 5 dice to go. And if he scores hits, he deals 4 damage. If he scores a jump, he deals 2.
And then
So-
Dr. Wily does...
And his special is if he rolls the Dr. Wily symbol, your opponent loses 2 dice for their next roll.
Fun.
So in this turn, Dr. Wily did 10 damage to you, so you're down to 18 health too.
Blow for blow, the old men battle.
And then it goes back.
And then it goes back to you.
Okay, I'm going to... I gain 2 threats this turn.
Alright, so you're going to gain 2 extra dice for this roll.
Yep. I'll go ahead and spend the energy to get the extra damage for Firestorm.
Right?
Okay.
And then...
Alright, so on your first shot, you have 2 hits. That was a hit.
That was a hit. There we go.
So you have 2 hits, and then you still have,
Your
you know, 6
rerolls
dice.
to keep
Now,
going.
okay, because of that card...
Yes, you get to keep the dice as long as you reroll.
So you have a 3rd hit.
And then you get 1 more
I
die.
get 1 more.
Which you got a 4th hit. Oop,
Okay.
it was a hit.
Yeah, well,
4, 8, 16 damage. So Dr. Wily is definitely beat up right now.
Dr. Wily's down to 2 health,
but he's not dead yet.
but he's not done yet. So I'm gonna roll for Dr. Wily again. Just kind of see what we get. So Dr. Wily got 2 of his symbol as well as a hit. So you're gonna deal. He does 4 damage to you, and you lose 4 dice on your next turn.
Gotcha.
That's how devastating this fight can be.
Yeah.
So you have your cards. You should have 4 cards. You can find something that try and help you.
Right, you can still spend that energy to do the double damage pretty much.
Yeah, you can still
So
do.
we're gonna definitely do that.
and you only need 1 hit to finish Form 1.
And I'm going to play this, which allows me to change one firing, aiming one into a
hit. Okay, so you can change 1 aim into any hit you want.
You only have 2 dice.
You only get 2
I can
dice.
re-roll them still?
You can still re-roll them.
And there it is.
You got a hit and you have a jump.
But the hit's enough to beat it.
That is enough to beat Dr. Wily.
In Form 1.
So he goes back to full health.
Now, I don't know.
You do not.
Gotcha.
So it's just like the game. The battle just continues. So he switches on to Form 2. So now, anytime you roll a Dr. Wily symbol, it stays.
Gotcha.
For your turn. Like, no matter, you can re-roll the other ones, but the Dr. Wily symbols are always on there.
Gotcha.
And his attacks change. So, I only get 2 dice now.
Gotcha.
In Final Form Wily. So I'll roll these. So I got a Wily symbol and a run. The Wily special is you lose 1 threat for your next roll instead of 2.
Okay,
so then it comes back to you.
Now the fire things still count for second form Wily, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and spend that. So.
And you get 5 die this pool.
I have 5 die total, and then I can play a card if I want.
Right.
And you still get your 4th card back.
You always have 4 cards.
I can change a run into a hit.
Okay, so you can change 1 run symbol into a hit. So I'll block if you want to actually roll or whatever. Alright,
there's a hit.
So you have a hit and a run. So you can change your run into a hit, so that's fine.
Wily stays though.
Wilys are stick.
So I can re-roll 1?
You can re-roll 1 die.
I might as well.
Which went to another run, which doesn't count.
Nope.
So you might as well re-roll to try, and you got an aim. So they don't stick forever, because
they're only at the end of that.
It's only to the end. However, you got 2 hits on him, dealing 4 damage each.
So he's down to 20.
So he's back down to 20 health.
Gotcha.
And you're still at 18. Yeah. So he gets to go his turn. He did not get anything. He got 2 energies, which means nothing for him. So it's back to you.
And you're back to 6 die in your pool again.
And you're back to 6 die in your pool.
Cool.
So you get your 6 die.
Use that.
You can use your Firestorm again.
I can change a run into a hit.
Alright, so we're going to change your run. Yeah, it's very useful actually. Alright, so you have 1 hit, 2 hits.
A Wily that stays.
The Wily sticks, and you have 3 that can reroll.
Another Wily sticks.
And you still have 2 you can reroll. And you got a 3rd hit. So now you've done 12 more damage to him. So he's down to 6 life. Or, he's down to 8 life. Sorry. He gets his go. He did nothing again. The dice are not very kind. He has a 50% chance of actually doing damage, but you still have 50% of doing nothing.
I can change run again. I just keep pulling them off the deck.
I've tried to shuffle.
I shuffled them before.
I tried shuffling them. I added cards to them. So,
couple hits.
You got to run. So we can change that one, and you got 2 hits extra.
And that should be it.
He only had 8 life left. You blew up the Wily UFO, and that ends the game.
Yeah. So there you go, and then whoever does that first is the winner.
Right. Now, the whole time you're all in Wily's Castle, it's a competition.
Yeah.
You're playing against each other hardcore.
Yeah. Because even though you're all technically trying to compete to get rid of Wily, you're really
competing against each other.
Competing against each other, so it's like, it's a cool concept of having that, so it's actually really cool. So there you go, that's kind of like the basics of how the game works. So there you guys go. It's definitely a cool board game. I can see playing 4 or 5 people can get pretty intense.
Yeah, when you get the higher number of people and you get some of those like Wily cards that are like 9-point cards.
Right, and
it gets kind of hairy.
So I can definitely think that this is a lot of fun. I would recommend people check it out. There's not that many video game board games, especially modern ones, that are very good. You're usually seeing Zelda Monopoly, Mario Monopoly. And then you go way back, you can get to the board games like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man and the Legend of Zelda board game from the 80s, but they were nothing of this magnitude and scale. So it's actually really, really cool. So I'm glad we got a chance to check this out. So anyway, I'll put a link down below. Of course, you guys can check out and check out the site for it, and see if you guys want to pick up a copy of it for yourself. Anyway, thank you for watching, and of course, hope you enjoyed.